Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I wasn't going to do any more videos today, but I watched a TYT video. TYT is the Young Turks. I think many of you probably know who the Young Turks are. Kind of progressive internet station. And I don't know what's going. Well, I don't watch Fox News, so I don't know what they say for the most part. But TYT was talking about how now Fox is calling John Bolton a traitor, betrayal. It was like astounding. They did like this montage of what all these people at Fox News are saying about Bolton, who has been like a darling of the Republican Party for for his whole career. I mean, quite honestly. Um, and so I was stunned, and it got me to thinking, Jesus, I wonder how John Bolton feels about all of this. So I want to ask that question. I want to ask, how is Bolton feeling about the position that he's in right now, um, and how he feels about how Fox is making him into this Judas, really. Um, you know, the we'll call it liberals, I guess, um, media, which is not really that liberal, but we'll just use that because that's the term they use. Have had an issue with John Bolton forever. They say John Bolton never saw a war he didn't love. Um, but that was because they didn't agree with his politics. This is kind of like a whole different kind of. This is personal attacks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if maybe the left attacked him personally as well, but I felt it was more on his policy than anything. So let's see how Mr. Bolton is holding up with all of this. Okay. So we have the Two of Pentacles here. So I think that he understands the cause and effect of it all. I think he understands the karma in a way of it all. The fact that this is a situation, he had to make a decision about what he was going to do, and I'm sure he knew that the decision was going to um, have consequence. But this is also about trying to find balance. It's very possible, and financial balance as well. It's very possible that he um, wrote the book because maybe he saw this coming in a way. The other thing about this is in this deck, the Two of Pentacles is a butterfly. So there is this sense of rebirth. There is this sense of going through a sort of a death process and then sort of coming out the other side of that in a transformational process. So there's been some sort of transformation for John Bolton. That's very interesting. Let's see what's crossing that. Okay, the Ten of Swords. The end. The end. I think that he is feeling, uh, either he may feel unfairly maligned. I mean, this is a harsh card. I mean, that sword through the eyes of the bull there. That's toughy. So, this card is the absolute end of something. So, what's challenging him is the absolute end of maybe his relationship with the Republican Party. Certainly, his relationship with Fox. Unless he decides to. Didn't he work for them or something? I don't know. That the root. Okay. So what's at the root of this is insanity. Insanity. I don't think it's his insanity. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's mentally unstable. See what's in the past? The Daughter of Cups. Hmm. This is an offering. This could be the job to work for Trump. It's funny how working for Trump really, or your interaction with Trump really sort of makes you, it tests you to be who you really are, right? Who you really are. And for some people who seemed that they couldn't be, um, that there was no hope, they actually, there's like a turnaround. Like Michael Cohen was like, he wasn't, I mean, by the people who knew him, his friends, he seemed to have friends who cared about him, but his public persona was, he's like Donald Trump's fix-it guy or whatever the heck it was, and he's kind of a slimy guy and kind of, but he became this like this figure of the repentant sinner, the atonement, and all that stuff. So I think within him he had that, and then somebody like Lindsey Graham comes up against Trump and goes from being somebody who is respected to be somebody who's just like, what? So there's this way that he has of bringing people down to their who their most more like their moral fiber, so to speak. And the sky is the Tower. Let's continue. It feels more to me like he's seeing the end. He's seeing the collapse. He's seeing the collapse. Not necessarily of his life, but of the Republican Party and that whole like thing. Okay. So immediate future, we have the light being shown, the seven of wands, and the seven of wands is somebody who has the moral high ground. Who would ever think that he would have the moral high ground? That he's such a warmonger. But there is a truth to be seen, and I think he's going to stand up and and speak it. How it's seen from the outside, collapse, chaos, more chaos than anything. Everybody's like, ah, like it's like the rats running off the Titanic as it goes down. They're just running in all directions. Domestic situation. Yeah. So I think that this is, to a certain extent for him, a little bit of a spiritual, um, uh, this is, it feels to me like a spiritual, I don't want to call it awakening, but it may eventually become an awakening for him. Um, but I think it's emotionally difficult for him. I do think it's difficult for him, but I don't think that he's necessarily taking it personally. Um, in that he sees himself as a failure. I think he sees what he's believed and what he's put all his energy and his emotional energy into, um, is what it is, which is, in a way, this ideal that the Republican Party or that right wing or whatever it is sort of says, this is who we are, this is that, and when it comes down to it, it's just plain, um, you know, power, and that I think that he's maybe going through some sort of spiritual crisis over this. All right, let's continue. Hopes and fears. Okay, we have the Father of Cups. Hmm. I think this is a hope. Um, and I think that he wants to believe that he can move through this time and still have agency over himself. That he can just sort of put this experience in his cup and be wiser for it. That's what that looks like to me. Let's see the outcome. Oh, wow. So he really is going through a rebirth. There's a rebirth process. This is the Ace of Wands, a whole new sort of uh, spiritual enlightenment in a way. Who would have thunk? I mean, I wouldn't have said spiritual enlightenment and John Bolton in the same sentence. Ever. I don't think I've ever said those two things in the same sentence. But these cards indicate it's like, whoa, what like that. Let's continue. See if we can get a major arcana. So we have the Five of Pentacles, which is financial loss, moral bankruptcy, or bankruptcy actually, bankruptcy, and the Temperance card. Okay, so healing. Um, I quite frankly think that it's very interesting. He's having somewhat of a come to Jesus moment, and I think he has the capacity. I feel like he has the capacity to weather this storm and come out from the other side wiser and perhaps more of an empathetic person. He is a Scorpio, so he is a tough cookie. No Scorpio, there's no such thing as a Scorpio shrinking violet. And ultimately, Scorpio is about transformation. And perhaps this is his transformation. Perhaps that tower is his tower moment. Perhaps this is his tower moment. Maybe he is seeing the insanity of the old ways. Let's see what's underneath it all. The Ten of Burden. The burden bearer. Let's just see what's under that. Oh, the Fool. Yeah. Wow. So we have possibility of healing, but he is I think he's going to talk if they let him. And he's going to talk in the book anyway, right? When the book comes out, we're going to know. Wow. I think he knew what was going to happen. He saw the writing on the wall, and now he's in the middle of it. All right, well, okay, John. Well, thanks for your part in all of this. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.